Yo, people, what's up? This is your boy John from Colder Ice, and I want to say happy holidays to you. I want to be all inclusive, so I say happy holidays, and then I want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, which starts after Christmas, and Ramadan, whatever. Happy holidays. So, hey, today we're going to talk about some important things that, I think small business owners, wannabes, people that are doing hobbies, should know if they're thinking about actually launching an online business. Because, if you've never done it before, you don't know what you don't know. And that's why we're here. So, we're going to talk about some of the hard lessons that I learned and a couple of unexpected decisions that I had to make when I started my e-commerce business. And hopefully, these insights will help you avoid some of the missteps on the way. And if you got some questions, holler at me. We will answer your questions definitely throughout the conversation. But before we get started, I want to remind everyone that this is an interactive discussion. You can ask your questions and leave comments through the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them. Below this screen, you will see a social stream where you can submit your questions or share your comments. And you'll need to log into Facebook, Twitter, Google, or Ustream account to do this. You don't need any of those things to actually talk to us. So go ahead and just put your questions down there. All right. So take a minute, sign in, and we'll get ready to go. Is that cool? Take a minute. Enjoy the view. I'm out here in the solarium. Solarium. That just means my sunroom. See? It's so nice. A lovely December day. What are we? 2-3 days away from the Mayan end of the world. So, I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But literally, I mean, it's hot. It's over 60, it looks like 65, 70 degrees here, and it's in Georgia, and it's a week before Christmas. It's crazy. Can you believe it? All right, so look, let me do this, okay? This is actually being brought to you by Thinking Forward, 2012 Thinking Forward live chat series. This is the end of that chat series for me for 2012. I've had a great time doing that, and I want to thank the sponsors who have brought this to you. Dymo Indisha, yay, and all that kind of good stuff. And it's a week before Christmas, so I know a lot of you guys are already doing your e-commerce business. I mean, you're in it. Some of you are doing it full time. Some of you doing it part time. Some of you are thinking about doing it, and this is kind of our time together, just before Christmas. We can do this. We can do this. It makes it fun to really just talk about what it takes to get into an e-commerce business. If you are doing it in a hobby type thing where it's part-time, and you haven't really done any of the paperwork to make it full-time and all that kind of good stuff, that's kind of what we're going to talk about. All right? So one of the things that I want to share with you is like, who am I? Why am I the guy chatting about this? All right? So my name is John Lawson. I run a site called Colder Ice. Why I am passionate about what we're talking about today is because in that Colder Ice thing, the ICE part, ICE, really stands for Internet Commerce Education. I'm really passionate about educating people on the opportunities that there are out there for e-commerce. And the technologies that are available today make it so easy for you to take an idea and move that from idea phase to implementation without a whole lot of work. And when I say a whole lot of work, I mean you're not working on the infrastructure necessarily. You've got the idea and you can move it through these tools that are available to you in e-commerce. Now, when I first got started, I got started on a platform. I like platforms. I kind of dig the platform model simply because the platform gives you an opportunity to try some stuff out, see if it gets any kind of response. And so the platform I started on was eBay. eBay is a fantastic platform, and it makes it so easy for you to try to sell something on the internet. Remember that e-commerce is nothing but commerce with a big E in front of it. The E stands for electronic, meaning that you are not in the same room when this transaction actually takes place. I can be in my room here, you're in your room there. If we transact together and you pay me with a credit card or some kind of payment system like a PayPal, that's e-commerce. That's all it is. The basis is that commerce never really changes. Commerce is the transacting of, I see something I want, you've got it, I want to buy it, here's my money, give me my stuff. That's commerce. That's the simplest thing. And so don't get too caught up in the E part. The most important thing that you want to make sure that you have and that you are making sure that is in good order is the idea. All right? And then we'll take that idea, we'll put it on some kind of a platform, whether that be your own website. There could be an Amazon component to it. There can be something called FBA. We'll get into that a little bit, which is fulfillment by Amazon, where they actually ship products for you. And then, of course, you've got the eBay, which is probably the old school model of e-commerce. eBay is really the first major e-commerce platform ever on the web. You know, there were other things, other trials, whatever, but eBay was the beginning. And today, what makes it so cool is when I started on eBay, you had to have like a pretty fast computer. You had to know how to take good pictures. You had to know how to upload those pictures. You had to know how to host the pictures. You had to know how to write the descriptions. And there was so much to it in terms of the technology. Today, here's the technology. A phone. Now, I've got right here my little Sprint phone. Ooh, that's my Sprint phone. You know why? Because I'm just really happy that I got a Droid, and like, you know, it's cool to have a Droid now. It's not like it's not like the old days where everybody was all Apple. I'm seeing a lot of my phone. But the cool thing is with this kind of a phone, any kind of a smartphone, you can download an app from eBay Mobile, and literally do all the things that took me all of this time and to learn and how to do. I can literally take a picture of a product, type in a few words for a description, all right, upload that with a price, and it's ready to go. It's actually being shown. So you can actually take some of the ideas and some of the thoughts and immerse yourself in the feel of e-commerce using your cell phone today. That's some pretty amazing stuff. So as this part gets easier, the other parts really don't change. Having the business plan together. I think there is a important part of having the business plan. I don't think the traditional, that's my quote sound, you know, the traditional thought of a business plan actually is as relevant today as it was in the past. And here's what I mean. I believe that the technology that we're in, just in general, the technology that we're in has compressed our business plan somewhat, the timeline of a business plan. I remember back in the day when it was like, well, what do you want to be doing 3 to 5 years out? I mean, now what do I want to do? I want to be on a spaceship. I mean, it's like literally you can be on a spaceship. I want my phone to like be inside my head so I don't have to carry it around anymore. That might be a new chip coming out soon. I mean, it's just everything moves so fast and so rapidly in terms of what we're doing with technology. So we really don't have the ability totally to go out 5 years and talk about some of the, you know, hardware we're going to be accessing and all that crap. We don't know anymore. It moves so quickly. So I think, you know, when you're dealing with a business plan of the old school, I definitely would compress that kind of a timeline. And there's so much out today to allow you to test and move quickly. I think that it's pretty great to not totally be attached to this. Here's where I think we're supposed to be, and here where I thought we would be. More, you want to think about here's the opportunities that you have, and here's how I'm going to take advantage of it right now, and then build so that what I do today, that foundation I put in, allows you to incorporate pretty much anything that comes along. I think that's the most important thing that you can be thinking about today, is not locking yourself into, especially technology, because technology moves so quickly. So that's one of the things you want to be aware of. All right, so I mean, that's a little bit deeper than we need to be going, blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's just I got a little checklist right here. And so we're just going to read through a couple of things you want to be aware of and definitely know that exists. No audio during the screenshot. Okay, I'm sorry. There was no audio during the screenshots, but I guess I'm back. Don't know what happened there. Uh-oh. All right. We'll keep it. Test one, two. Oh, man. Okay. I think I found it. All right. Audio back? There it is. All right. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So you didn't miss anything. I wasn't saying anything. Basically, so what I'm saying is, the first thing you want to start thinking about when you're moving your business, and this could be if you're dealing with a brick and mortar shop and you want to move, some of your sales online. People always ask me, what domain name should I use? Let's go back just a little bit before the name. Let's talk about the domain level that you're going to use. Today it's not just .com. They've got .net. They've got .name. They've got .co.uk. They got .biz. All of these .info. All of these. Okay, they've got a lot of dots. My suggestion is definitely try to get your .com. All right. .com. However, .com is not as important today as it used to be. All right. So after that, I'd say .net or .org. If you've got something that's more organizationally, you can use those two. .net is pretty cool too. The thing is that now everybody's using more and more top level domains. Google's getting used to that. At one point, you used to get a real huge bump by being a .com. Today, it's not as important. I think mostly the best thing is to get something that's memorable, and I think that's really important. I mean, and think about this, guys. There's not too many companies that you remember that are great companies that actually have the name of the product in the company. I kind of shy away from that. I think that, I get it. If you're selling hair care, then that might make sense a little bit, but if it's just, Aunt Jimmy's hair care, Aunt Jimmy. Aunt Jimmy? Anyway, I don't think that is enough to differentiate you from other brands. I mean, you think about the great brands that are out there, the Apple. Do Apple make apples? No, they make computers, Google, Yahoo, Cold Rice, seriously, don't be stuck on trying to get the name to meet and match your thing. It's almost like, people that wear the same clothes. It's okay. It's so like 1990s, if your top matches your bottom, ew, that's just not cute. So I'm thinking seriously in this new phase, be creative and try to get something that's memorable. All right. Easy to say, easy to communicate, and memorable. And you can always explain exactly what it is. That's my personal opinion. That's just my personal opinion. All right. So anyway, but think, use that. So the deal is, if you can't get your .com, then go for the other ones. I don't like the long dashes anymore. That's kind of old school. Eliminate the dashes if you can. That's another thing too, making it easy. You don't have dashes in the middle, hyphenated. No, people don't dig that anymore. It's very simple and easy. And this is killer, guys. I'm telling you this. Before you go out and create your name and buy the domain, check Twitter and Facebook just to make sure you can actually get those names. That's a double bonus if you can actually do that. If you've got it on Twitter Facebook and your top level domain name all match without the .com, that's a great fit. All right. So check those things out. All right. Next thing, hosting. That thing, when you talk about like where should I get my shopping cart, that's a big lift, because it really, what I tell people to do is tell me what you really want your store to do first, and then go out and find those options that match yours. Some of the ones that just come to mind that I actually do like, there is of course Yahoo stores. I like Yahoo stores because it has an extra bump, because it's got this search engine thingy universe kind of attached to it. It's not as big and prevalent as it once was to get you, some ranking, but it still has that. That's nice. Big Commerce, I like that platform too. It offers a whole lot. And then actually, I'm going to show people how to do one on a really smaller platform, probably coming up in the beginning of the year. Check out Colder Ice for that, because I want to talk to people how to build your own store if you want to build it. But those are some self-hosted stores that I kind of like. And then, of course, you can have like something called an eBay store. And that's not a real store. They call it a store, but it's not a store. It's basically a page that shows off all of your eBay products. Now, that's another way that you can actually get in. However, I would say first, try that platform first and see if it works for you. There are other platforms that have that kind of experience where you can get in, put your products up, use their traffic, and pay their fees. And their fees are usually pretty big. It's like 15% and up, for a platform like eBay when you tie in all of the fees. Excuse me. Then you got Amazon. Amazon's a great platform, a lot of traffic. You don't really get to, or you can put yourself on there, and I'm going to just show you this. But here's what I tell people to do all the time. I'm a fan of the GoDaddy system. I'm not saying it's the best system out there, whatever, for getting a domain name, but I like GoDaddy, all right? But here's a little trick. If you go and just type in GoDaddy in Google, GoDaddy, no spaces, no .com or anything, all the time there's an ad at the top that will give you a special deal on buying your domain name for the first year. So just do that. No matter what promotion they're running, it always comes up when you're actually doing that by putting GoDaddy in Google. It's kind of cool. Now, right now, until the end of the year, you can get your domain name for 99 cents. And when it's running that kind of special, I'd like to pick some domain names up, but I've got a problem. I probably need some counseling because I do that way too much. I got too many domain names. Every time I get an idea, I'm buying a domain name. So, and now at 99 cents, I'm buying a lot. All right, so that's how I buy my domain names. All right, hosting, we talked about it. I wanted to show you that one part of the hosting. Let's make sure I still got my sound. I do. Okay, the other part of the hosting is Amazon services. We talked about that. You can get to that. I like to actually go to sellercentral.amazon.com. That gets me there. I see this one has a long amazonservices.com, and it tells you how to sell on Amazon. That's cool. We talked about eBay. eBay, fantastic platform. And then there's one called Etsy. Etsy. If you've never seen Etsy, you might want to check that out. I'm sorry, I went off the Etsy screen. There it is. All right, Etsy is unique in that most of the items, I think all of the items, are supposed to be handmade items. And it's a great place for you to start a business if you are making handmade items. And I mean, just look at some of the fantastic stuff that is out there and people are making. Okay? Take a look at it, and if you would fit into that, that's important. Another thing is too, you want to get some of the aesthetics of the site just to get a feel for what the site is doing. If you're dealing with one of these websites, go to the eBay homepage. Look at the stuff that they're actually putting out there, and not mostly what it is, but how they're displaying it. What are the things that they are looking for? I notice a lot of people are looking for great camera angles and shots, all that kind of stuff. But don't get too overwhelmed by that, all right? So we've talked about that. Now let's talk about payments, because that's, after you've got your name, you want to sell, you need to get your payment thing going. You got to go and get something going. I don't think PayPal is going anywhere anytime soon. So my suggestion is definitely get yourself a PayPal account. If you're going to be on eBay selling, you're going to have one. Cool thing about Amazon, you don't even need a payment. They handle it all internally on the Amazon site. Etsy takes the PayPal. PayPal is your first line of defense. All right, I believe. If you've got a credit card service, processing service already, and you're doing that in your brick and mortar store, you need to get the connector so that you know how to take payments online. And you can do that by getting a merchant account if you don't have that. A merchant account allows you to take credit cards online. All right. And that's what it's called. It's called a merchant account. And there's some great places to get a merchant account. One of the great places I always tell newbies, check out if you're a Sam's Club member. Sam's Club has a great rate and a great merchant account for business owners. And yes, you can use that for your online business as well. Check out Sam's Club. Check out, what's the other big box retailer? Either way, you know what I'm talking about. Costco. Costco has one too. Both of those are very good sites to check out and see how much the payments are and all that kind of good stuff. If you want a good one that's reliable, those two are my suggestions. Okay, merchant account. All right, and then once you have the merchant account, you have a gateway, and the gateway connects the merchant account to the web world, and that's called a gateway. I don't want to get you confused too much, but those are just some terms we want to know when we're talking about payment systems. So you got the regular PayPal system, which is all inclusive. People can take their credit cards and all that. Then PayPal has a secondary level, which is a merchant account, just like we were talking about, where you can actually take those same kind of payments offline on your own website, where you're just seeing not even the PayPal logo, but just the merchant logos of Visa, MasterCard, American Express. That's another level that you can get to. But I believe that the first level you need on PayPal is just a regular business account, a regular personal account. You can even start with on eBay as a regular personal account if you're just trying to get rid of some things in your house and you're just trying to start. That's a great way to start. All right? Cool? Cool. All right. So suppliers, look, here's the cute thing to me. Cute. Yeah, it's cute. Because you'll sit down with somebody and they'll ask you the first question, where do you get your stuff? Like, dude, what do you mean? Where do I get my stuff? I make it. No, but the deal is one of the most important parts is in this business online is about sourcing the product. Your product sourcing has got to be in line and ready for you to be able to expand and grow. So if you're making the own products yourself, that's fantastic. The only thing I tell you is make sure you pay yourself in your price. All right. That way, if you ever want to scale the business, you can actually pay somebody to do your work because ultimately you're going to want to do that. But when it comes to sourcing product, make sure you've got a good source for a good product that you like. And a lot of people want to talk to me about drop shipping. I'm not a fan. Okay, I'm not a fan of drop shipping. I don't do drop shipping, but that's because I'm not a fan. And the reason why I'm not a fan is because I'm a freaking control freak. I want to touch, I want to feel. But there are some great ways to drop ship. And one of the great ways to drop ship is by going to your supplier and asking them to drop ship. I'm not a big fan of these, drop ship email lists, buy one, and you can make $1 million on eBay. My foot. You can't do that. I think it's crap, So still, but there are drop shipping opportunities that are very good, and usually those are found by actually talking to the distributor and finding good sources for drop shipping. Once you do actually have your supplier list together, and you're ready to rock and roll, that's when you can really be able to scale your business. And I think that's important. Ultimately, me, like I said, I'm always trying to create my own thing, and make sure that I move little by little from, wholesaler to distributor to importer to manufacturer. There's all these levels in between. And I think one of the things is with the e-commerce thing, as you grow and grow, you'll climb up those ladders. But first, get a good supplier that you could trust and that it's got great products. If you're going to do drop shipping, here's one killer, I think, thing that you need to do is you need to have some supplies stored at your home, okay, or at your business location. Have a small supply just in case you oversell or your supplier runs out. Because that's the one thing I have had over and over again is that the supplier never really gives us great information about how much they actually have in stock. Their stock fluctuates and sometimes it doesn't get updated on time. Sometimes somebody makes a large order, whatever. If you've got things and products going, have a couple of them in your house. That way you can fulfill the over orders that your manufacturer can't fill, as opposed to having to cancel the order. Another thing that allows you to do, and you should do this every once in a while, is always order a couple of products from your supplier so you know exactly what your customer is getting on the back end. All right? Because remember this, guys, is that when that person opens that box, that is the last impression they're going to have about the transaction between me and you. All right? That's the key, is that when they open that box, you need to know what's in that box, how it's being packaged, because that represents your business. The product itself is nice, but I'm telling you, when they open that box, Apple, if you never bought an Apple product, you will understand the opening of a box and how important it is. It almost makes the entire experience worth your while when you get an iPhone, an iPad, a MacBook. The way they package that product makes you feel good about your purchase. And you want to make sure that has that experience on the other end in your e-commerce business. That's what's going to keep them coming back. I'm telling you, that's one of them things. And you want to make sure that package is tight. So there's a benefit from actually ordering some products from your supplier a couple of times a year at least. All right? Cool. Fulfillment centers. Overhead. That's one of the big things that you're going to have to worry about going forward at some level, is how you're going to fulfill your products. What if, you remember those commercials? I think they used to run them back, in the earlier part of this decade. They had these commercials where they had one commercial where everybody was sitting around the computer, and then the website went live, and all of a sudden the phone rang, and everybody's jamming, and they're like, "Oh my God, so we got a sale." No, they weren't. No, they weren't. The phone didn't even ring. They just saw that it went into the cart and somebody paid for it, and they were like, "Yay!" They got a order, and then all of a sudden they got more orders, then more orders. You have the ability really to get something that people are just going nuts over, and you've got to think about how you're going to fulfill that in the next 24 hours, because people really like turnaround times to be fast. We're in a microwave society. Amazon pushes things forward so fast in terms of customer experience right now with their programs that people are now getting trained and used to having their products fast. So fulfillment has to be in your mind. Now, there are a couple of options for you. Of course, like, again, you can have your own fulfillment system. I recommend it. Try it, learn it. I don't care if you outsource it later. I think learning the process is something you need to know, because I think literally that's 50%, if not more, of this business is fulfillment. All right? There's something called fulfillment by Amazon, FBA. If you ever hear that terminology, FBA means you take your product, you send it to the fulfillment house at Amazon, and Amazon will fulfill those products for you. You can use that for selling on Amazon. You can use it for selling on other platforms. Again, it's about trial and error, learning how that system works. But it works great. If you're selling on Amazon, FBA is a great system. Again, it's kind of heavy in terms of the load. It does cost you some money. It costs you some money, but that's something you can have out there, especially when you want to scale your business, when you find a product that's moving extremely fast and you can't keep up, as opposed to buying a big warehouse or opposed to hiring more people. You can actually basically hire the fulfillment center from Amazon with FBA. All right? So there's a lot of ways for you to do that. Accounting, Man, I think the first thing, and one of the first employees you should have is an accountant. And let me tell you something about accounting people. If they don't pay for themselves, they suck. Okay? Accounting should not be an expense. They should be able to actually save you money. That's their job, in my opinion. Save me some money enough so I can pay your salary. All right? But if you are, when you're getting started, there's some great accounting things out there. Of course, we know about the QuickBooks. There are other online methods that you can use. I'm trying to think of one. I can't even remember its name right now. It's on the top of my head. Maybe it'll come back to me. But there are several good, do-it-yourself kind of accounting programs that you can use. Learn how to use those. That's going to give you those reports, that overview that'll let you know if your business is moving forward, if it's moving backwards. Where are you on that timeline? I think the accounting part should not be overlooked. All right. Now, the legal structure of your business, I'm not an expert. Let me start here. I'm not an expert. Everything I say to you can and will be used against you. No, that's not the right line, is it? So the deal is, though, no. When it comes to your legal structure of your business, I'm a corporation. I like the corporation, but you really want to think about the tax implications of everything you do. I think it's really a tax thing. Now, the easiest thing, of course, is having a sole proprietorship. No paperwork, really. It's very easy. The only problem with that is that you put yourself into some liability for tax that you might not have to pay. And it doesn't shelter you as well as having a small business. And it doesn't take a lot for you to actually get a small business to do your paperwork. I mean, I think it cost me $50, $50 to incorporate here in my state. But what you want to do, here's the best resource for you. And let's try to get our Mac screen back up so we can go right here. Here's where you want to go. You want to go to SBA.gov. All right? You really want to go there because they have, look, this is what your tax dollars are going to do. So you need to use it. And they've got resources that are fantastic for starting your business. They can tell you exactly in your state and in your city the paperwork that you need to simply make a business out of your hobby. Once you do that, they'll be able to tell you what places you need to go, what the fees are going to be, and it's all absolutely free. It's a fantastic resource. Use it. You're paying for it. We're all paying for it. You should use it. And the cool thing is it's actually way, way better than I ever expected. Because I would ask people, well, what kind of business should I run? And I'd hear all these different things. Then I went to the SBA and they really laid it out for you, So make an appointment at your SBA so that you can get your business off the ground. No matter what stage of your business you are in, if you've never been down to your local SBA, it's worth a trip in the afternoon to try that out. It's actually a fantastic resource. And they've got something else called SCORE, which is an association of retired business owners, that they will actually mentor you free. Freaking free, and nobody uses it. It amazes me, and I mean when I say nobody uses it, it's like I can call and get an appointment anytime. You know what I mean? Because people don't use this resource, and these are people that ran multi-million-dollar companies. They're retired, and they rather tell you what to do with your business now than sit at home on their porch drinking lemonade. And guess what? Just sitting down and talking with a lot of these folks has been a really big boom for me. Always talking business to people is always a great thing. And to have that resource. So the SBA and SCORE are in every local area. Find where yours is, and that'll give you a great start about creating an e-commerce business. Definitely want to let them know that you're really trying to create an e-commerce business. They have some resources there. But, of course, this is government. So, how do I say this? This is government, and they're not the best in technology. And then when you're at score, it's usually the more retired person. And again, they're not the techno. So it's not where you go for your technology. That's all I'm saying. They'll give you some technology. Here's how to pick your URL. And they're like, stick to the young folks for that part. When it comes to technology, talk to your young people. I ain't even kidding you. They are the ones that know the technology, and let them help you with your business and your technology. It'll definitely pay off. All right. So, anyway, now that's for me. Probably we've covered 50% of the important things. Probably 50%, right? I mean, I can't stress enough. These are the important core parts, but it's only about half of it, if not even that. 25%. But this will get you started. Now, the one other thing is marketing. See, because I think people miss out on the marketing part. They spend way too much time on the other parts and way too little time on the marketing. I believe that a business is two things. It's a product and a market. And you got to bring those two together. And the only way to do that is through your marketing. So I really think that the marketing part is half of the equation. And I think it's the worst half that most entrepreneurs, business owners don't spend enough time on. And you want to think about how you're going to market that freaking product. I don't care. Look, this is literally the best phone ever. I believe the Samsung is the best phone ever. But guess what? If it wasn't for the damn commercial, I'd have never picked up the phone. I don't give a flying how great. You thought I was going to curse there. You did. I don't care how fantastic your product is. If nobody knows about it, who gives a crap? You got to make sure that your marketing is in order. All right. And you've got to think about that marketing part. That's one of the reasons why I actually started my business on that platform, eBay, is because eBay did the marketing portion for me at that time. I'm not going to say they do that great of marketing anymore, but they had the traffic. Amazon today has that same kind of vibe. They've got that traffic that when you get on these kind of platforms, the Etsy, they bring some of the traffic for you. That's one of the reasons you're paying them so much of your proceeds, simply because they're providing you with that service. And to me, that service is marketing. The other ways you can market are, of course, on Google with something called paid ads. All right. Now, the thing is, when it comes to AdWords, that's what it's called, Google AdWords, you got to be extremely careful about Google AdWords, because the deal is every time you see an ad on the right-hand side of your Google window, somebody's paying for that. Anytime you click on that, somebody's paying, right? Somebody pays every time you click, they pay for it. So the deal is people can click because you create such great clicking terms, but then when they get to your page, they don't buy anything. They just click, puke, and leave. And you end up paying for the privilege. The privilege. You end up paying for that. So, one of those things are, I don't tell people to dive in head first with that, because you can actually burn a lot of cash. So I like some of the more subtle things like the social media. I really like that. Word of mouth is still the best thing in the world. And social media is all about word of mouth. Somebody told you about this event right now, probably by word of mouth in some social space. So that's why I like it, and it's definitely a good thing. And then when you find something that's working in social, then you move it over to paid search. That's one of my little techniques. When you find something that's really moving fast, you can actually then start buying the traffic on that thing. All right. But it's really cool that you can use these platforms to drive that traffic as well. So make sure that they're paying you for what or they're giving you the return for what you're paying for. You're paying them for the traffic. They need to be giving you that kind of, visibility. It's all about visibility if people don't see it. So that's what your marketing strategy has to be about. You want to make sure that your descriptions and your titles are bringing people deeper and deeper into that sales funnel. The deal is that a headline should make people want to read your description, and your description should make people want to buy it. And if you keep those things in mind, then you write better headlines and you write better product descriptions. When I'm looking at some of our product descriptions, my thought is this going to make somebody push the buy button? And if it's not, it doesn't need to be there. It has to be all attached to pushing that buy button. Your headline, your title has to make people want to read that description. I think it's absolutely fantastic to have just the, red widget. Great. That needs to be there, But also, you got to make me want to look at your red widget, and you got to make me want to actually go and click on that link to see your red widget, And everything you do in that process, you want to be thinking about the end goal, which is getting people to purchase that product from you. All right? I hope that is some good sourcing information. Now, here's the deal. I'll give you some good sources for you. And this is I'll never tell people this. Look, every business park has something inside of it. A business. Here's the deal. One of the great places to source are business parks. I will drive around, see a business park, and just be like, let me go around here and see what's inside of this business park. I found a dealer that did nothing but hats by doing that. I found multiple t-shirt dealers that can make your products for you all over the place, always there. I found wholesale suppliers. I found importers from China by just going to these business places, just driving around and seeing what the heck is back there. There's always somebody back there somewhere selling and making something. Those are where your suppliers are. When you can source locally, it's really pretty fantastic. If I can just drive somewhere and get it. So, that's another one of those things that I don't know if people really look at enough. Where do you find products? Find it right under your nose, right around the corner. Right around the corner from my place, I have a place that makes sunglasses. Makes them. They make them right there. I was like, wow, these are cool, Hell yeah, we ship them all over the world, blah, 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 And they're a supplier. They're not selling direct to the public. And that's where those people stay. The people that sell direct to the public have what? Storefronts. Guess what? Storefronts are not a good place. Unless you're doing, arbitrage, which is finding stuff on sale and sending it to eBay or Amazon and selling it. But I'm saying when it comes to finding good locally made products, go to your craft fairs. Oh my gosh, man, it's amazing what you can find. Let's say you want to sell wedding stuff. Do you go to your local wedding shows? Dude, hello, that's where these people that make wedding stuff actually show their stuff. See, so it's amazing. Do that. The other thing for sourcing is you want to see if you've got a, here in Atlanta, we've got the Atlanta Mart. All right. So that is a market show. Then every region of the country has a market show. Atlanta has a market show. Chicago, New York, LA, Dallas, all of these major cities have market shows. Find the biggest community next to you and check their schedule for their market shows. They've got one. And guess what that is? That's when all the people, see, here's the deal, is that they're looking for you. People that make products are already looking for you. They need you to sell their products. And they have shows set up for them to show you the stuff. You're looking way too hard if you can't find product. I tell people all the time, the easiest thing is finding product. The hardest thing is finding the right product. All right? So don't be discouraged by this thing about, well, what do I want to sell? Man, there's so much opportunity. When I'm at this, if you're in the Southeast, if you've never been to the Atlanta market, gift mart show or a clothing show or jewelry show, you need to check it out. They got a shoe show. They got hip hop shows, all of everything you could think of, craft shows like crazy. I was like, wow. I couldn't believe how much. So the deal is, do that. All right, user question. I got a user question. Yay. Okay, here we go. User question. Thoughts about using SMM to promote an eBay store. That's social media marketing to promote an eBay store. Should we have a standalone site if we're driving traffic? You know what? Here's the deal. I'm going to be an unorthodox jerk about this. Here's the deal. If somebody's coming to my store and giving me money, I'm happy. So I don't like this thought of, well, you shouldn't drive traffic to eBay. That's their job. Look, whatever. I need to make money. All right? And if that will make me some money, I'm happy with it. Now, once I get the traffic moving to my eBay store, here's the deal. Once you actually get traffic moving to your eBay store, then you can take that water hose of traffic and move it anywhere you want. The key is to get the traffic. So if you can use social media to drive traffic to your eBay store, then you damn surely can use social media to drive traffic to your website. Don't put the baby before the bathwater? Cart before the horse. Yeah, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Drive the traffic first, then you can do whatever you want with it. I find so many people get stuck up in this, oh, I need to have my own web store and then I'm going to drive my own traffic. I'm like, fool, that is so stupid. You know, you want to buy a car and you ain't even got a damn driver's license. You ain't even learned to drive. You want to get the car. No. Learn how to drive the traffic. Absolutely. Learn how to use social media to drive stuff to your eBay store. Once you've learned that and mastered that, you can drive it anywhere you like. I don't care. And guess what? While you're learning how to drive traffic, you're actually getting paid. Even though you're paying eBay too, now you're getting paid to learn a skill. Duh! You know what I'm saying? Go for it, man. I'm not of that thought where, you know, everything you got to be all about your own website. Who cares about that? You think the guy sitting at the mall next to Macy's that's getting all that damn traffic that goes into Macy's is really concerned about, well, one day I'm going to make my own store? No, he's pretty happy getting that traffic going into Macy's. So it's whatever you like. You like it, I love it, just get paid on it, you know? Learn how to drive that traffic. No, I don't care about it. Now, here's one thing I would not do. I wouldn't buy ads. I wouldn't buy ads to my eBay traffic. If you want that kind of traffic, you want to kind of just make sure, because eBay's already buying ads. eBay already buys keywords. So sometimes you might want to look at what eBay's already buying and marry your marketing inside of eBay to what they're already paying for. But I don't believe that you should pay and eBay pay. You know, you don't want to do that. Not yet. Okay? I don't think that's good. All right? So hopefully that helps. Any more questions? Go ahead and post them. I'm more than happy. I got a question here, and that's pretty interesting. What are 3 things someone absolutely must do in order to start and run a successful e-commerce business? All right. The 3 things you got to have is a good name, you got to be able to take good pictures, and you got to be able to write good descriptions. Pictures, name, picture, description. Look, when it comes down to it, these are the things people are going to find your business through. Okay? So I think those things are very important. Now, another one. 3 things. 3 things you didn't know that you wish now someone had told you before you started your online business. I can't give you 3 things, but I can give you a few things. I think one of the things that I really kind of didn't know is I didn't realize that I was not a business person. I had kind of backed in because I found something that worked, and then all of a sudden I was in business. And it took me a while to study the principles around business. I think that basic basic knowledge of business. I mean, Business 101 for Dummies is, I mean, and that's not a real class. But I'm saying anything you can take around that is an important lesson that I would say learn. That's why I'm telling you to go out and talk to the SBA, SCORE. They got a lot of free classes. They got a couple of paid classes, all day course training, on different disciplines. So I like that. And that's one of the things I would have done more of at the beginning had I known. So get educated, get educated. Oh, here's another thing. If you want to grow, if you want to grow in your business acumen, then hang out with people that are not like you. And what I mean is, look, if you want to grow to be a wise sage in business, then you can't hang out with the people that are just doing the same thing you're doing. So what you need to do also is make sure you have people that are above you, that are doing where you want to be in your life. Get around those people. Start talking to the successful people. Stay away from the negative people. Stay away from the negative people. All right? You know why? Because they offer you absolutely nothing but negativity. And you know what else they do? They smooth you over when you're lazy. So you don't like that. Oh man, it's eBay telling me I can't do X, Y, and Z, and everybody around there, amen. Guess what? They're not building your character at all to help you deal with the real world out here, because the real world out here in business, no matter what business you're in, there's always challenges, and so in order to find out how to avoid those challenges, talk to people that's already been there. That's the people I love to be around. I love being around people that can bring me up to where they are. So take that time and start thinking about who these people are and how you can deal with it. So we only got a couple more minutes together, and I want to really thank you. I hope there's something in there maybe have sparked something in you, but I will tell you one thing, guys. You can do it. If I can do it, anybody can, and I mean that. If I can do it, it can be done by anybody. Anybody. You can do this. Take your time. Definitely check us out at colderice.com. That's my website. Check out thinkingforward.com. And absolutely one of my partners for shipping. We use it every day. Dymo Indicia. Check it out. That is one of the things when we're talking about fulfillment that has made my life easier. Matter of fact, it was probably the first technology. I never thought about that. Dymo Indicia was actually the first technology I ever invested in, and I'm using it still this day. I mean, that's important, guys. It's important. That fulfillment process, like I said, that fulfillment process is very, very important. It's half of the equation. That's why I think it's a great company, and I appreciate them for putting this together. Thanks again to everybody who joined us today on this discussion, and of course, thanks again to Dymo Indicia for setting up all 6 of these chats that myself and my good friend, author, fantastic chick, I like to call her a chick because she likes that. She's like, yeah, I'm a chick. So no, I'm just teasing. But she is. She's my favorite business chick. She really is. Miss Marcia Collier. And we've done 6 of these together in 2012 for Thinking Forward in their live chat series. Now, here's the thing, guys. Remember, you can watch any of these videos and any of these chats right here on Thinking Forward. And you can always catch up with me on Facebook and Twitter. I'm at Colder Ice, COLDERICE. And, you know what? Here's one more thing for you. There's a group on Facebook called the e-commerce group, Just look for that on Facebook, and a lot of us are out there chatting. Any questions you ever have, you can ask me directly there. You can ask that whole room of people. There's over 1,000 e-commerce people, and from all levels. So anything, startup all the way to enterprise level, we're out there. And go for it, man. Do your thing. This is your boy John, Colder Ice. I'm signing off for now. See you in 2013. Peace.